welcome to episode 5 of the AceTone sessions. I am your fearless host, Tim Whalen, and I'm so happy to have my very good friend Michael Kramer with me today. Michael's one of my closest friends, and he's also one of my favorite musicians. He's eternally creative, very open, extremely funny, and insanely intelligent. I really enjoy spending time with him. I enjoy making music with him. And as you'll see, we've got a lot of great things in store for you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can always know when I'm coming out with new videos. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy episode 5 of the AceTone sessions. Michael Kramer, glad you could make it. Thanks for being here. Episode 5. Thanks for coming to my home. It's just great to be able to make music together with such a close friend and someone I admire so much. So I'm really glad you could be here.
Thank you, man. It's beautiful what you're doing here.
Thanks. So where are you from, Michael?
Well, I was born in Washington, D.C., of all
Native.
places. I'm a native at Washington Women's Hospital,
Okay.
which I don't believe is there anymore. I'm sure it's not there. I think it was in Foggy Bottom. That's where I was born. And I grew up in Germantown, Maryland. So
Are your parents still in Germantown?
my parents are both living in Germantown in the same house that I grew up in.
Okay. Do you have siblings?
I'm an only child, man.
Yes.
Just
I knew that, but it's...
Just the one. It explains a lot. All the things.
So how did you find your way to the guitar?
That's another good question. So the guitar actually wasn't my first instrument. In school, the school that I went to, they didn't have a band program, but they had like a strings program. And I chose, I didn't really choose an instrument. So then what I ended up playing was the viola first, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So that was the first
I had
thing.
no idea.
Yeah. See?
Do you ever play it? Can you still play it?
No.
Okay.
No. I could try.
Well, you can always try.
Yeah, but no, I couldn't, function on the viola. But so my friends, my school friends, we were sort of weird. We were into music. What I mean by we're 9-year-old kids and we're into like Hendrix.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was right there with
man.
Van Halen and Rush.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, see those. So,
Earth, Wind,
but that's
Fire
kind of those were contemporary bands for your childhood, pretty much, right? I mean, you.
Yeah, I mean, I was in 4th grade when 1984 came out, so I was old enough to start being into that kind of stuff.
Right. So a little bit of the difference is that these were records that were recorded literally 30 years
way
before.
back.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were into that music, and then we were all wanting to start a band, which never really happened. But that's how I found the guitar. Really, my mother went to a pawn shop and got this Epiphone knockoff, probably a knockoff Epiphone. It said Epiphone, but I don't think it was.
Right.
And for $50 and a little Gorilla amp, an
Yeah.
electric guitar. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
And I was making noise in my room. That's how I found it.
Do you remember the first song you learned?
Man, I remember
I remember mine.
You do? Well, what was yours?
Honestly,
Yes.
I actually wrote it.
Yeah, man. That's interesting because I did the same type of thing.
And then the first song I learned, so I wrote a little song on this little keyboard I got.
Yeah.
1415 or something.
Yeah,
Found the notes, and then I learned Yellow Submarine.
Oh, man, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. See,
Do you remember?
it was I did a similar thing, especially early on before I knew anything about anything. I would write little, I guess you call them riffs or little things or little chord progressions of the shapes that I knew, trying to sound things together. So that was a lot of I have a memory of trying to figure out this Everclear song.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that would have been on the radio at that time.
That would have been on the radio, DC 101, So I did a lot of that, but I can't remember what the first song I could play. My uncle showed me, my uncle's a piano player, and he at one point, Thanksgiving or something, just showed me how to play a shuffle, just fifth, the fifths, and so maybe that was one of the first two.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love hearing these types of things because everybody's got a different. Some people came up, classical, and then they discovered jazz, but they started as a classical musician. Neither of us started that way.
Yeah.
It was a very non-classical upbringing for me.
Yeah. In fact, when did you learn how to read? Actually, I wonder.
I learned how to read. I didn't know what a quarter note was until my freshman year in high school.
Wow, you made it to high school.
Yeah, I like just singing in choirs. I learned everything by ear. But
you had the music in front of you.
I just I learned it.
Interesting.
And then when I got to high school, Randy Swigum, one of the most important figures in my life, especially my musical life. He taught me how to read. He taught us all how to read. We sight sang before every rehearsal.
So he was a choral
teacher. He's an orchestral conductor now and a great educator all over the country. But we would learn to sight read. We did numbers instead of solfege, just because 60 people in a choir, it's much easier to get them to understand numbers, I feel, than...
For sure.
So it really made a big difference.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, so I'm very glad I did learn how to read, because you can go through life like that and it becomes a serious limitation. So all you kids out there, learn how to read.
English too. Gotta specify. Learn how to read your tabs. It's important.
Exactly. As I've said every episode that I've done this, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this series is to obviously fulfill my video recording bug and keep working at that craft, but also it's a way for me to keep writing new music, because I write a new piece for each guest. But then the only requirement in return is I'd like the guest to bring in a tune of theirs so we can feature that music. So you brought in your tune Dysphunktional. P-H-U-N-K.
That's right.
I'm wondering if that's a reference to something involved in my life, but how did Dysphunktional come about?
Yeah, well, when you asked me, you were kind enough to ask me to do this, which was really cool, and I know that you write a tune for each guest, so I figured I would write a tune specifically for this occasion.
Oh, that's great.
So that title is totally an homage to your band, Fat Function,
That's right.
which I'm a fan of.
That's cool.
And your career, and I wanted to give you something,
Thank you. What was the first seed of the tune? What came first? Do you remember?
You mean like harmony, rhythmic feel?
Yeah, just do you remember what you first did to put it together?
Yeah, that was actually one where this doesn't happen very often for me, but the tune, it appeared, fully formed,
Yeah.
Pretty much,
That's cool.
Pretty much
That's
fully
rare.
formed. It was really rare, but I think it has to do with I've been trying to be more meticulous and having a method, practicing composing, practicing composition.
Yeah.
And so being methodic, about the qualities that I like in my melodies and the qualities that I like and the harmonies that support them. And so I think that was like a fruit, that came of that, where it was a gift, that came,
That's really cool.
So
it's amazing when that happens.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen a lot.
It really is amazing,
It doesn't happen a lot.
It's beautiful. And so I remember, feeling that, and I played it in my phone, and I was like, what do you think? I think I got a tune for this,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also, I was just thinking about the relationship with my wife that I have, and we have a wonderful. She's it goes without saying, she's the woman that we just have 12 years. We just completed our 12th year together, 12th anniversary, and so I also had the tune as kind of an homage to her.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been one of the reasons why,
Sure.
because I was feeling her,
Mm-hmm. That's cool. So we do this little series at my house. It's just me and people come over. But another thing that happened in this same area is you recorded your second album, which is being mixed as we speak. It was so great to be able to be the engineer for the session and be surrounded by you and Nate and Dominic, and I just thought it would be a good opportunity for you to tell everybody about this upcoming record and just the seed that was planted for it, and maybe just tell us a little bit about how it came to be and the tunes, or just whatever you'd like. Just let people know about it.
Sure. Thank you for that opportunity. And for opening your house to record it and do such a great job.
Thank you.
Mixing it, engineering and mixing it. It was a lot for you to take on, and and you did a great job, and you made us all feel very comfortable.
Oh, good.
It was a very
It was a fun couple days.
It was a great recording experience, man.
Yeah.
You did a great job, and the guys played great and were prepared.
Yeah, definitely.
But thank you.
So who's on it?
So my like right hand guy, Nathan Kawaller. He's the wonderful bassist and also composer, and he has his own thing too called Koala, which is like I guess he's a producer. He makes. It's
electronica,
electronica. It's beautiful stuff there.
He's super creative.
He's such a creative cat, and he brings so much depth and understanding, like rhythmically and harmonically, to my music. But I've played with him on many contexts.
Yeah, very versatile. Super
versatile, and he knows has a great respect for the composition. And playing accordingly. And then the other cat is Dominic Smith, who was a guy who I guess I relatively recently got to know Dominic kind of through you. I think I called Dominic.
Yeah, Dominic's played with my quintet many, many times.
Yeah, and he is just a wonderfully creative guy, and he's a beautiful spirit to have in a band. He
certainly is,
because he's a servant of the music first of all. He is also a great orchestrator.
That's so true.
He's such a great orchestrator. He has such a beautiful symbol language. And all over the kit. But. So he has this wonderful ability to, in a sort of non cliche way, give the songs and performances shape, so that really you're looking at a unique, some of the takes were difficult to choose because of the way that he was kind of guiding us, and sometimes peaks and valleys were in different places, and I would think, oh man, but I really like the landscape of this take. But
yeah, for sure.
So he was the architect of that, and the music itself. Sorry, I'm going on.
You're fine.
So long. The music itself, I wrote all these 10 compositions, and I wrote 8 of them. I wrote in this period of the period of 1 month. So I think that the connection really is the time period that they were written, and the things that I was working on and thinking about during that time. And the other two are somewhat of a suite that's an homage to this character that my father created. You have to check out the record to see what what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the tune I wrote for this, the title came later, but
Yes.
the beginning of that tune is a little figure in 5/4. It's that piano figure. If you listen to it, it's the first thing you hear. I wrote that in 2006.
Oh yeah.
No, 2007, in spring of 2007. I went to New York to visit a few friends. My friend Michael Cabe and I, hi Mike, we went and saw EST, the Esbjörn Svensson Trio.
Oh yes.
And I remember I loved it. You know, it was really great. And I got back. I was living in Madison at the time. And I just was hearing this kind of, I don't know, Chopin-esque, this figure. It really resonated well. And then it, not to get too technical, but it goes up a minor third.
Yeah.
That's all I had. And I wrote like 4 or 5 different versions of that tune before it came to, because it starts in F sharp and then ends up going to like all these different key centers.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out just a musical way to get from point A to point B. And actually you talked about the algebra stuff. I wrote the ending.
Right.
I just wrote the ending of how I wanted it, and then
Like the harmony from the form, or like the actual
the
tune?
actual last 6 or 7 bars.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was just, you brought that up earlier. That's exactly how I was able to finish it, because I had to have that final thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the title.
Yeah,
the
man.
title's because of the that cat gif.
The cat gift.
So if you guys have ever seen this, it's the
greatest thing on the internet.
It's this video of a cat that jumps off of a ledge, like fully stretched, but you don't know what happens to it.
Yeah, it just kind of
It just disappears.
disappears from sight, but it's just the effort that it's putting out.
I mean,
and it goes straight down.
Yeah, and I just remember you texted back and you said, "All for naught, man."
Yeah,
all for naught.
all for naught.
I said, "All right, I got to name this tune "All for Naught." So there's not a real deep meaning behind the name, but because it was for you, and that really made me laugh when you texted that back to me.
That's beautiful, man. It was so much effort, and then
fully stretched, like not. I mean, as stretched out as you can get.
And then it just.
I'm gonna have to put the GIF in while we're talking.
Yes,
about it.
yes,
right, so
yeah.
The beauty of editing.
Yes, that's great, man. Yeah.
What does music mean to you in everyday life?
For me, music is a way for me to metabolize my experiences, just things happen in life, and music, the act of creating music is the way for me to digest that which happens inevitably.